All right, boys and girls, today we're working on Chapter 1, Lesson 2, and I want to show you something that we forgot to do yesterday. So Chapter 1, go back to Chapter 1's notes, Chapter 1, Lesson 1's notes. We should have written Chapter 1 place value, but also Lesson 1, and then place value through millions. So please add that on there. So Lesson 1, place value through millions. I'll pause this video if you need extra time. And now you're just going to go to the very next page. You can either write on the back of the page or you can choose to go to the next page. I like to go to the next page. So we're going to write same thing as yesterday. So Chapter 1, place value, because that's the title of the chapter. And then underneath you write Lesson 1. And this is kind of a long title, but it's compare and order whole numbers through millions. Okay. Okay. And again, if I go too fast, you have the lucky power of just pausing me so you can catch up. All right. So we're going to look at our math book and our math notes, and we're going to find things that are important from this to put over here. So actually, I'm going to trade spots with this. And first of all, we're going to look at these symbols here. So we have these symbols so that we can compare numbers. So we know that this symbol represents greater than. For example, 9 is greater than 6, greater being more than, right? So we're going to put more in parentheses here. Okay. And even if you think you already know this, it's really good to have write it down. You'll use it at some point. All right, the next one is this symbol goes the opposite way, and it's going to be less than. And less than just means that it's less, right? So if this is less than, it's going to be maybe 2 is less than 5. So we always read numbers this way. We start, like yesterday I told you, we start on the left and we go to the right. So 9 is greater than 6. 2 is less than 5. We also have our equal sign here. So our equal sign simply means that they're equal to. All right. So for example, here I might have 4 is equal to the 4. They're just the same. All right. So today we're going to be comparing numbers. And we'll use these signs to help compare. We'll find which ones are greater, which ones are less than. All right, so this is actually pretty interesting. The Atlantic Ocean. We're looking for square miles. I'm going to erase this right here. We're looking at the square miles that approximate that the Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean take up. So the Atlantic Ocean takes up approximately 33,420,160 square miles. That's a lot. But the Pacific Ocean takes up 64,186,600. All right, so we're going to transfer that information down here. See where it says Atlantic Ocean? So we're going to transfer that information down. And first we'll look at the Atlantic Ocean's millions period. So we have 33 million. There's no 100 millions here. So you can either put a 0 as a placeholder or just leave it off. You can put nothing there. But there's 33 million. So we drop that right in there. Then we go to the next period and we have 420. So that's 420,000. And then we go to this next period, which was 160. So we'll drop that in, 160. All right, now let's go to the Pacific Ocean. We have 64 million. Again, there's nothing here. So we don't need to write anything, but we can write 64 million. Then we have 186,000 with 600. Okay? And then we start looking at these numbers and comparing them. So come over in your books now. And we're going to write those two numbers on top of each other. But we want to write compare numbers, which is most of what you're doing today. So really pay attention here. So compare numbers. And to compare numbers, let's write down the Atlantic Ocean, 33,420,160. And you're going to take that number and you're going to put this next number right underneath it so we can compare them. We want the commas and each of the periods to line up so it's easier to compare them. Okay. Once you have the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean written down, we're going to start comparing. Now, I'm going to make a little note right here. You start comparing by looking at the number on the left. And I'm going to put in parentheses just like reading, because all we're doing is we may not be reading words, but we're reading numbers. Okay, so we start over here and we look and we say, which one's bigger? Is the 3 bigger or the 6 bigger? Well, the 6 is definitely bigger, right? So we're going to put the little mouth eating the 64 million number. And now you would read this as 33,420,160 is less than 64,186,600. Okay. All right. Now let's do a couple of tries here and see how we do. Actually, you know what we're going to do? Yeah, we'll do one. Okay. So I'm just looking at your guided practice right now, and I'm going to pick number 2 because I feel like that one's the trickier one. So I'm going to put a question here, and I'm going to write my numbers on top of each other. So 10,027,301, and I'm going to put this number, actually I'm going to put it over here. It'll be more like the real page that you're about to do. So 10,207,301. Okay, so now we start comparing. So we look at the numbers on the farthest left. So it's far over. And we say, well, those are both ones, so they're the same. Then we go to the zeros, but those are the same. So 10 million and 10 million doesn't tell me which one's bigger so far. So we keep going to the next number, and this one is a 0, and this one is a 2. So now we have a difference. Which one's bigger, the 0 or the 2? And hopefully you just said 2. So if that's the bigger number, then we're definitely going to be eating this guy. So this is less than this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make a note down here. I'm going to write important. So you're going to compare each number until you find one that is greater or less than. By starting on the left and moving to the right. You see that? Okay. Well, hopefully you can read that well enough. I kind of wrote fast. And sometimes notes mean that you write fast. Okay. Go ahead and pause there if you need to, and then we're going to start our work. I'll do a couple of problems with you so you know what to do. Okay. So do a couple just so we can see how I want you guys to do these. I'm going to try to move my camera down to get a little bit of an angle. All right, so we're going to do number 9. So number 9, we are looking at the leftmost numbers. So I like to do it this way so I can kind of see what's under my fingers. So 1 and 1 are both the same, so you can't say anything's bigger or smaller. We go to the next number, those are both 5s, they're equal. We go to 2s, hey, those are still equal, so no answers yet. Then we go to 3 and a 3, no answer. We go to 8 and an 8, no answer. 8 and an 8, holy moly, that's a lot of numbers. Okay, next one, we have a 0 and a 0. These might be equal, I don't know. 0 and a 1, hey, we have a 0 and a 1, so now there's a difference. Which one is greater? The 0 or the 1? And it's the 1. So you're going to put a greater sign. He's going to eat that guy. Okay? All right, and the next one we're going to do, these all are not hard, but there's a ton of numbers, and your eyes will start to go a little bit crazy. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to do these problems. I'll just pick number 14. So if you look at this, there's numbers, comma, numbers, comma, numbers, semicolon. So wherever you see a semicolon, this is what I want you to do. I want you to put a line like that. I'm going to keep going. Comma, comma, semicolon, comma, comma, semicolon. Okay, and then that's it. This is just an easier way for you to not go crazy with your eyes, okay? So this is a little bit of a tricky one. So we're going to start on the left, and I have a 7, a 7. Wait, I have a 7, but that 7's in the wrong spot because the other 7s were right here, and I have a 7. So this is really a 0, so I'm going to put a 0 here so I can see that there's really a 0. And we're looking from greatest to least. So if 7, 7, and 7 all match together, then, hey, this one doesn't have any 100 millions. It's just 73 million. Whereas this one is 731 million, 731 million, 731 million. So 73 million is definitely less. So instead of writing all of these numbers over, should have told you this in the first place, we're going to call this one number 1. We're going to call this one number 2, this one number 3, and this one number 4. So now looking at it, this one that we said was way less is number 3. It's the least. So we're going to put it in this least spot over here. And we're going to cross this one out so we don't use it again. Okay? So now we said these were all 7s. Now we're going to go to the next number. So we have a 3, and a 3 all equal. We have a 1, and a 1 equal. We have a 3, a 6, and a 6. So isn't 3 less than 6? So this is going to be my next smallest number. So this is number 1. We'll put number 1 in the smallest, or in the next smallest spot. So now we're going to put the greatest number here and the next greatest number there. Okay, so, oops, I need to cross out number 1 so I don't accidentally use it again. So I now have, let's see, where were we? 643. Those are all the same, 643, 643. So we'll go to the next one. Now I have 898, and I have 989. So which one's the greatest number? 999 or 898? 999. So number 4 is going to go here. Number 3 is going to go there. And I know that's a little bit confusing, but otherwise you would have to do this. You would have to write down 731,643, 989. Then give me your next number. And this is just a way to make it much faster. So as you start, you're going to put a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 on each number, and then separate it where there's the semicolon. And since this one is looking for greatest to least, you put the greatest number here. So let's see. Let's say it was this. Well, it's definitely this one. 183 is way bigger than the other ones, so that would be number 4 goes there. All right. Ask your teachers for help between 9:45 and 10:15 if you need it. We are here to help you. All right. Bye, guys.